This brief tutorial takes you through some of the key features of the Excel spreadsheet package. The Scott MP file contains information about the 2010 general election for the Westminster Parliament in Scotland. For each of the 59 constituencies, the file contains some background information about the constituency. For example, in column B, we've got whether the constituency is an urban area or a rural area. If we scroll along to the other end of the data, there's also some information on the employment rate in the constituency at the beginning of the year in which the election was held. Other information includes things like the name of the winner, their date of birth, their sex, where they were born, which party they represented, and so on. There's also information about the other parliamentary candidates in the election for the main parties. Just like any data set that you'll come across, regardless of the package that's used to analyze it, you usually find that variables are in columns. For example, a variable about whether the constituency is an urban and rural one, or the variable about the winning candidate's date of birth. And the cases or observations are in rows. So that, for example, in row 8, we've got the information for the Murray constituency. It's a constituency that's focused on a remote small town. The winner was Anne Robertson. Her date of birth was 1969. I've just changed somebody's sex. The winner was Angus Robertson. His date of birth was 1969. He's male, and so on. Thus, you can see that if the variables are in the columns and the cases are in the row, the value that an observation takes for each of the variables is in the cell corresponding to the intersection of the column and the row. Now, Excel can do many things with the massive information that we've got here. For example, in column C, we've got data on the number of votes cast in the election in each constituency. We might want to know how many votes were cast in Scotland as a whole. In other words, we'd like to sum these figures or get the total number of all the votes. To do that, we tell Excel to do a calculation. Whenever we do that, we need to enter into the cell some information that always begins with an equal sign. I want Excel to produce a sum of all the numbers in this column, so I'll tell it sum, and then within brackets I'll tell Excel which numbers I want to sum. Now I can do this in two ways. Either I can take my mouse and drag through all the cells like that, and then enter a closing bracket, and then press enter, and Excel goes away and does the calculation and returns the result in the cell. There's another way I can do it, and I'll just show this in the cell underneath. Again, I'll put in the equal sign, sum, open brackets, and I can just tell Excel the range of cells by putting in the reference for the first cell, which is C2, and then a colon and the reference of the last cell I want, which is C60. And of course I get the same result. Totaling all the numbers isn't the only thing I can get Excel to do. I might want Excel to take the arithmetic mean. Excel refers to this as the average, so in this cell I might want to put equal sign as usual, average, and then the same range of cells as before. Close the brackets, press enter, and I get the average of all the numbers that I've selected. Some of the information is at the ordinal or nominal level of measurement, and I can get Excel to summarize that information in a rather different way. You'll see here we've got the column of that describes the sex of each of the winning candidates, and they're all obviously either male or female. I might want to produce a frequency count of how many were male and how many were female. To do that, again, the equal sign. This time I want the command COUNTIF, C-O-U-N-T-I-F. Open the brackets. Oops. Again, the range of cells. This time it's going to be F2 colon F60. Then a comma, and then what it is that I want Excel to count. And let's count up the men first. So I put in inverted commas. That tells Excel that I'm looking for text rather than a number. And type in male. You have to be careful that you type in exactly what you want Excel to count. For example, if I typed in male with a capital M, it wouldn't work. Then close the inverted commas, close the brackets, press enter, and Excel's counted up how many men there are. Let's do the same for the women. Equals, oops, COUNTIF, F2 colon F60, comma, open inverted commas, female, close inverted commas, close the brackets, press enter, and I get 12 females. And I can quickly check that Excel's done what I expected it to do by adding 47 and 12, which gives us 59, which is the number of constituencies. You can also ask Excel to produce, to look for the minimum or maximum value in a range of cells. Let's see what the smallest vote and the largest vote was across the constituencies. Equals, open brackets, range of cells, and of course I've got to tell it what I want it to do. This time I wanted to find the minimum value. Press enter, and the smallest number of votes cast was in, let's see, Skye. Let's see which the biggest constituency was, or the biggest constituency in terms of votes cast. Equals max C2 column C60, close brackets, enter, and you can see that the number of votes cast in the constituency with the largest number of votes was something like between 3 and 4 times larger than in the constituency with the smallest amount of votes. Another useful feature of Excel is you can get it to sort the data in an order. For example, if I wanted to rank the constituencies in terms of the size of the vote within them, I would select the range of cells that I want to sort, go to Data, choose Sort. Immediately Excel will give me a warning showing me that I've got data in columns to the left and right of the data I've selected, and what it wants to know is whether it should sort that information as well. Clearly I wanted to sort all the information rather than just the particular column C, so I'll choose Expand the Selection, click Sort. I've got a header row, so I'll leave that selected and click on OK. And I get my data sorted.